Hello, I'm Prudence of Chocolate Rain. I would like to quickly share with you my experience. Well, people ask how come designers have so many ideas, would they become dry? But if you find the source of your life, then you will know that it's resourceful all the time. I come from this place. Is it beautiful? You must think that I'm living in those luxury flats. Well, actually, I'm living in huts. Like I was living in huts like this, but now this place has changed. Now it looks like this. So let's go backwards. I was born in a village called Mahang Village. It gave me a lot of dreams, and it gave me the so-called lion rock spirit. I am not a good speaker, but let us look at the different tastes of life. Well, Hong Kong people love to eat. Now, let us start with taste. Now, if you know how to cook, in the past, you can have this kind of food stores. And if you don't know how to cook, but you know how to prepare cakes, and then in wet markets, you could have small stores like this. And that's what I call entrepreneurship. I really like this hawker store selling tomato and potato because my grandma made very good soup out of them. And in our village, there were a lot of tanka people. There were a lot of fishermen, and they sold tiny fish. They caught from the tree, and my grandma would fry those tiny fish with eggs, and all these bowls were handmade by them, so it's just like DIY. So smell. At that time, we didn't have big stores, and we smelled flowers on the street all the time. Of course, there was also foul smell. In the whole village, there was only one public toilet, so it was really smelly.
This woman was responsible for cleaning the toilet in the daytime, and in the afternoon, she picked up all these paper cardboards. Then there's printed smell from the newspaper stores. This is the first stall bringing Financial Times to our area. If you go to Stanley now, these stores still are there. There's also sound. Sound is very interesting. We don't need any heat to know that there is a festival coming up. You may hear sounds of people eating pineapple, which is very sour. And then here you can see this area, which is a very good place for Cantonese opera performances. At festivals, there will be lion dance. And in fact, it's rather dangerous because sometimes there's firework, and these will burn the squatter huts. On one occasion, there was fire, and we all packed and left. And at that time, I remembered only to pick up my dolls. Then when we were small, we listened to our grandmother telling stories under the tree. Very often, even now, you will see elderly doing Tai Chi. At night, there are these cats. In the daytime, the sunlight was so strong. But then in the evening, there was light breeze, and over a dozen cats would be there partying. Feel. It's difficult to describe feel. So I think nothing is better than sweaters knit by our mothers. And there is no fast fashion at that time. We only rely on our mothers. My mother was good at making patchwork because she worked in factory. So our uniforms and my father's shirts were all made by her. In the past, when there was heavy rain, we used our umbrella. In the daytime, we would dry our blankets outside. And then at dinner time, I think we gathered together, and at that time we were sometimes beaten up by our mother. And then in the morning we swam together, we did morning exercise. At that time we had a wonderful harbor. Children's laughter. Children's laughter has taught me a lot of life lessons. This is my grandpa. He is a very good street cleaner, but in fact he is an excellent calligrapher. He also taught me how to make DIY toys. Many villagers have dual characters. For example, this guy knew how to repair electrical appliances for only a small amount of money. Children in the past never filled up their time. They didn't need to take violin, piano lessons, and so on. And usually I spent the whole afternoon painting. When I looked at the sea, I was able to draw a lot of things. Now, this is a Chinese medical practitioner. He's my uncle. He studied Chinese medicine in his middle age. He started his practice at 50s. Some were taxi drivers, and all of a sudden they went to Queensland of Australia to do conservation. So they have taught me how to make and build our own dreams. There are a lot of lost things. My primary school has been closed down, and here you can see these 8 monuments which are now being conserved. In the past, we had some special type of chickens. This man delivered chickens to us. I tried to keep chickens, but then some of them died. But now we only have chilled chicken. Near Welcome Supermarket, there's this restaurant selling dim sum. At that time, there were these women pulling these dim sum carts. And what I miss most is an era when we wrote letters. When I was 17 years old, that was the first time I had the opportunity to fly on airplane. I went overseas to study art. I had to work while I studied. There was no Skype at that time, and then my parents could not afford making long-distance calls, so they wrote letters to me. At that time, there was a crossover of stamp plus letterhead. So one letter can serve all 3 purposes. My father wrote a letter to me, and then whenever I received his letter, I felt very happy. This is the post office in Stanley. It's still there. How long have you, has it been since your last letter? There are these very nice pieces of grassland. In Hong Kong, there is no land, there's no agricultural land, many trees were felled. I think we've lost the agricultural land, we've lost a lot of laughter, lettuces, friends, and neighborhood. My grandma used to keep 2 pigs. And where did the feed for these pigs come from? In fact, the kitchen waste were feed for the pigs. And now this has become popular again. The world is like a big circle. So kitchen waste is used for organic farming now. This is very meaningful. Here you can see a collector who would offer some candies and sweets to us. In the past, even a pair of scissors can be collected and repaired. Now, even love or marriage is disposable. Should we have all these back to our lives again? Finally, I would like to thank you for sharing all these 5 senses of my life with me. Young people, when you feel you have no idea, please try to think about your roots. There are limitless ideas like nutrition, protecting your growth and your future. So starting from tonight, Please tell your parents or grandparents a nighttime story. Please talk about good places to go to in the past. Thank you very much.